Hello again and welcome back. I hope you're all well. If you are new around here, then hello, nice to meet you, and if you're returning, thank you very fucking much for coming back. My name is Alana and I'm a 30-something lady from Scotland who likes to chat about makeup, hairstyles, fucking lipstick, all that kind of pish, along with a sprinkling of travel vlogging and some strong opinions sometimes. And I also like a sweary word, so if you don't like sweary words, I absolutely get it, it's alright, please feel free to be gate. But if you're into that sort of shit and you don't mind somebody who's got a really terrible mouth, well, there's a little subscription button down in the corner there. This is another What's New Wednesday, and it is going to be focused mainly around a cult beauty haul that I made, but I have pulled in a few other bits and bobs that I already owned that you can find on Cult Beauty today to create this look. So it's a very bronzed golden eye with a little deeper lip. I think I am kind of in love with this look at the moment. It's kind of my go-to because the weather has been so hot and I just like natural skin with very bronzed bits and then something very neutral but impactful still on the eye, that little sparkle, that little sheen, and then a really bold lip. I love doing it with a red lip. I love doing it with like orangey toned lips. I think it's amazing. I was hoping this would be a little deeper and darker, a little vampier if I'm honest with you, but the product that I've used on my lip has came out a little bit orange, so we've went with it. If you want to see how I've created this kind of bronzed golden cult beauty, a little bit orangey cheeked look, then just keep on watching. Right, so grab yourself a tea, a coffee, a cuppa, maybe an Aperol Spritz if you fucking like, because it's so warm. I am not going to be one of these people that's all like, oh my god, it's too hot, I don't want to, oh just go back, sun go away. No, as you probably know, and I like to speak about the weather quite a lot, I fucking love the sunshine. The fact that the sun is shining in Scotland and it is almost unbearably warm, I fucking love it. I know it's not great for work. See, if I'm in work, I'm wearing a fucking uniform and I think like the NHS, can you guys not come out with like a summer uniform and a winter uniform? Because in the winter it's fucking freezing and in the summer, oh my god, I am melting at my work at the moment. Night shift I've been on a wee while and I'm just like at night I go for my wee break, right? I'm not gonna lie, I go into the break room, lock the door and just strip the top off because I'm like, oh my god, so fucking hot. Anyway, sorry, tangent as always. This is What's New Wednesday and we're gonna do what my plan was, Cult Beauty, a Cult Beauty haul. I'd ordered a few bits and bobs, but if you haven't already seen my What's New Wednesday on Glossier, I'm gonna pop it up in the corner here. And basically in that video I was talking about Glossier and saying how I think they should do a bronzer, and what did they do? They released a bronzer the day that I put that video up onto YouTube. I couldn't believe it. Stephanie Swan had actually commented being like, could you give me the lottery numbers? Because you've just pretty much been like, they need to do this, and they've done it. So I have actually ordered a couple of other bits from Glossier, just 2 things, but it then became apparent to me that in my Cult Beauty haul, I've ordered bronzers, I've ordered another bronzer from Glossier. So we're gonna do a bronze look, believe it or not. But what I'm gonna do is just a bit of a summery bronzed look, probably using the majority of products from Cult Beauty and what you can purchase on Cult Beauty, not all in this haul, but things you can pick up there. And we'll shove in the Glossier stuff as well, just to give it a little bash, okay? So first things first, I picked this up from Tower 28. Tower 28 are a brand I've wanted to try for a long time, but they've only very recently became available on Cult Beauty. Otherwise the shipping and all that was a bit insane. So I picked up West Coast, and this is one of their bronzers. Now, I have tried this, a little like swatch with my friend Leslie when we met up back at the start of July, and I thought, oh, this looks lush, but it's not like got pigment. That's the wrong word, opacity. It's not opaque. It's very, very sheer in its makeup. It's like a golden light oil almost. Can you see that there? It's definitely more, even though it's a bronzer, it's definitely more something I would maybe use as a bit of a highlight. I'm not sure I would go all in with it, although I have seen people do that and it works really, really well. But you can see there, it does have a little opacity. You can see it on my hand there, but it's not like bronzer as I know it, as in I would want to do a little sculpt and shape at the same time, but the sheen that it gives is absolutely gorgeous. And actually the day that I met all the girls and Leslie, I said to her, what is on the tops of your cheeks? And it happened to be one of these. Now I really did want to try a blush from Tower 28 as well, but they were all fucking sold out on Cult Beauty, which seems to be the way at the moment. All the stuff that I wanted to get, a lot of it was sold out. So actually, I'm going to just shout out this as well. This is the Nessamyrix, and this is one of the Vision Flushes, and this one is in Sweet Nectar. Now, this is available on Cult Beauty, but all the Nessamyrix stock is a little few and far between, or possibly sold out at the minute. So actually, my lovely friend Sophia from Instagram got her hands on this. She was doing an order with Guru Makeup Emporium, another site where you can buy the Nessamyrix in the UK. And she got her hands on this, and I have wanted Sweet Nectar for a very long time. So I picked up one of these as well. I did PayPal her, she didn't give me it for free, but it was very, very kind of her to get her hands on it for me. So we may use that today as well, even though it didn't come from Cult Beauty, it is available in Cult Beauty. I also picked up the new Vive Modern Bronzer. And I just, do you know something? Do you know why I was so sold on this? Because I think the packaging is beautiful. Now, we spoke about Vive before. I have picked up things before. I'll put the video up here if you want to go and see my thoughts and feelings on Vive. Now, this packaging is so much nicer than the blushes. And even the eyeshadow palette, I would say. I feel like the highlights and the blushes, the packaging is a little cardboardy, which is fine. It's absolutely fine. I'm not like against cardboardy, but for the price range that Jamie Genevieve was going for when selling this brand, I feel this is much more acceptable a component for the prices she's charging. So I'm into this, I like this. Also, these are refillable. So once you've used it, I'll show you in the back here, it's gonna be really shiny, sorry. There's two small holes there, you might not see for the gold. You can pop them out once you've used one, and then you can just put a new one in, which I think is a great idea. So I picked up the medium 1 and medium 2. Should I have picked up light? Possibly, potentially, but I thought, I've spoken about it before, with me having pink undertones, sometimes light just looks a little greyish and sometimes bronzers look a little orange, but this looks okay. We will give it a go. This is obviously the light one and then medium 1 and medium 2. So we may try this as well. I'm not sure how that's going to work with the Tower 28 because the Tower 28 is obviously like a cream and this is a powder, but we shall see. I then picked up another Live Tinted Hue Stick, and this one is in Found. Now on the site, I thought this looked like a really beautiful kind of berry brown colour. If you can see the colour on the top here, it's like a really deep, warm berry brown colour. When it's arrived, it's a lot more, it is a little bit more orange than I expected, and it is a little bit more brown than I expected. I will just swatch this on the back of my hand here so you can see. That is it. I mean, it's dark. It's not like the orange one. Will I grab the orange one? Hold on. Alright, so this one here is Rise and the orange, and this is Rise here, and this one here is Found. I will zoom you in so you can actually see these a little closer up. There we go. So you're probably getting a better colour idea here now that I've kind of turned that down a wee bit, the light. So this is Found and this one here is Rise. And I have to say, they're a similar colour family. I didn't think they would be that similar in the tone, but they are definitely two different colours. So that is a little disappointing, but we'll see how it applies, we'll see how it goes, and if I pop it on today, I'll let you know. I mean, I like the sticks, that's why I bought another one. I thought they were really good. I love that it's kind of 3-in-1 thing. You put it on your eyes, your cheeks, your lips, just put it all over and it looks really nice, and you can do like monochromatic looks, but it doesn't actually look like you're wearing the same product in all the areas. Very, very nice. But I think I expected this to be a little deeper, a little darker, a little bit more berry, but that's okay. I then picked up two of the Danis Color Fix, one in foils and one in mattes, and the colours are Twinkle and Beaches. So Twinkle is like, it looks gold on the top of this box, sorry, it's got all this packaging on it, like the bloody plastic shit, hold on. So yeah, Twinkle on the top here just looks like a gold, but actually when I've seen this used and swatched, it's a little bit different. So it's actually quite a pale gold. It's not as yellow gold as that would suggest, but also it's got like these accents to it, I want to say, that have little flecks of different coloured glitters in it. It just looks a little bit more interesting than just a gold. It's got a lovely sheen to it. That is it there on my hand. Honestly, it's got like different pearlescent elements to it that just make it look so interesting. It's a foil, so it's like tiny bits of glitter in a liquid, and they do separate a bit. Like you could probably sheet it out a lot so that it's just a real wash, and then you could maybe use it on top of your cheeks actually, or you could pack it on and get it looking really pigmented and boom, gold on the top of your eyes. But that's it there, you can see. And then I picked up Beaches, which is this beautiful blue colour, and it's a really nice light blue. Look at that, oh, it's gorgeous. And this is one of the mattes, so this one will dry down as far as I'm aware, but you still can manage to work with these really beautifully, and you can use them as an eyeliner as well, so it doesn't just have to be used as an eyeshadow. And that is insane and so nice. I really like that. So that's everything I picked up from Cult. I got a couple of mini samples. This here from Glow Recipe. This is the Avocado Ceramide Recovery Serum. Interesting. And I also picked up this Anastasia Beverly Hills Lash Brag. So this is it here. It's tiny. Look at it. Doty, wee tiny thing. And we'll try that today, why not? I have not brought a mascara out because I knew this was here. So that is everything from Cult. I'm just going to quickly show you the things from Glossier. So this is the Solar Paint and this is the bronzer. Now these come in 4 colours, and I picked the colour, so I was looking at it on the website and there was 4 colours from light to a darker shade, and I thought, well, I'll go for the second one in because surely that would be the sensible option. But in hindsight, I've looked at them on the site again. There is one that is a slightly more red tone. So the kind of red one that I was thinking about is called Volt, but it's definitely the darkest tone on the site. It's advertised on models with deeper skin tones. But I just think the ruddiness of it, it just may, it probably would have been far too dark. But my fear is that this one, Ray, that is orange looking, I'm not gonna lie. Now I have done a small little swatch on my arm earlier. I'm just gonna do it on the back of my wrist here so you can see it. That is it there. Now I've blended it out a little as well. The thing about these solar paints are they are shimmery, and generally as far as bronzers go, I don't use a shimmery bronzer. So when I swatched it, I was expecting it to be super duper shimmery, but it's not at all super duper shimmery. It's a very light shimmer, and almost the texture of it dries kind of matte. It's a funny one. So that's the tone of it there on my skin, so you can see. And I think it's going to be a little too orangey, but we will try it on, we will see how it goes. It definitely has a shimmer to it, you can see it, but it's very subtle. So actually the shimmer doesn't scare me as much as initially I thought. And then I picked up another one of the Ultra Lips, and I picked it up in the colour Villa because I picked up Voltag, I think it was. Was it Voltag? I can't remember. Voltag. Vesper. I picked up Vesper, which was a really pink colour. This one is Villa, which is a beautiful neutral, very similar to that of Cake. It's a little more pink than Cake, I would say, but because it's a balm, it's a lot sheerer on the lips. And then for that reason, it comes off a little bit more like a nice nude pink here. You can see it's a balm here. Swatches are terrible, I'm sorry. But I will show you me putting them all on, and actually this looks like a really wearable, everyday kind of colour. I loved the NARS Afterglow Balm. I still have the nubbin end of one that I'm using up at the moment, but they're so nice, and I think this is a really good dupe if you can't get your hands on the NARS Afterglow Balm. But let's shove some of this stuff on my face and we'll see how it goes. Alright, so as I was saying, this isn't going to be anything too groundbreaking. It's going to be a bronzy, maybe a gold eye look. Wow. But I thought I would show you all the stuff. I want to try out my face, try out my skin and see how it goes, because I think they're all such different kind of textures and things. And let's face it, the Tower 28 and this one, Solar Flare from Glossier, I thought were going to be very similar, but actually I think this is going to be a bit more of a base and this is going to be a bit more of a highlight. And then obviously the Vive Modern Bronzer is a powder. So I'm going to start off with this Solar Flare here from Glossier, and I'm going to just, I don't know whether to go straight on the skin, maybe just a little dot here. I'm going to try and use it in the same way that I would use my Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in Toasted Almond. Alright, so I'm going to take my KGH number 4 and start kind of just buffing that into, it's orange. It's very orange. That was my fear of this colour. It's not horrific now that I'm blending it out a little. Not bad, not bad. But initially I did think this is a lot more orange toned than I would normally wear, but actually now that I've blended it out a bit, I'm like, okay, fine, we'll try on the other side. And the other thing I have to say is that went on very, very easily. So initially I thought, oh god, very, very orange, but actually maybe with my kind of colouring and my hair tone, I can pull this off a little bit more than I initially thought. Oh, well, it is definitely got some pigment to it. You can definitely see it. Just gonna run a little of the excess across the nose there. Oh, I quite like that, but I think the tone just ever so slightly is off, and I think if I got the lighter one, I'd run the risk of looking a bit greyish. I'm gonna just take it up around my hairline as well. Now it is kind of grabbing onto hairs and stuff like here. I've got very bushy eyebrows, as I've told you before, so I've got like this little line here that if I don't wax it, there's just stuff that gets caught in the hairs. But that's me because I'm a bit of a yeti and I have like lots and lots of Bigfoot, him, whatever you want to call him, because I've got lots and lots of fur around my face and I can't help it. I think the tone is all right. Do you know what it's like? So I think I spoke about the Kiko bronzers before and how I chose the darker one because I thought actually that's going to look a bit better than the lighter one. And when I tried the both of them, I'll stick that video up here as well if you want to see it. When I tried the both of them, actually the one with a slight sheen to it was better because it wasn't as orangey. And I feel like this is a similar thing, that actually once it's on the skin it's okay, but initially my fears were it was going to be far too orange. But it's okay, it is alright. This is as natural light as I can get. I do have my light on turned very softly down, and because I'll show you what it was like if I turned it off. It would be super duper blue because where I sit, yes, this window is a front facing window, but at this time of the day the sun is behind my window, so that's why there's a light on. Now I think you can see now that my face is most definitely a different colour from my chest, and this is me with a tan. Look, you can see that's the peely wally white colour I actually am. You can see there's a slight line there across my chest. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this under here as well, just to help like with a bit of contour, which I don't think is necessarily the right thing for this product. I'm going to be honest, I think this is maybe a little warm to be contouring with, and maybe I should have left that to something else, but we're going to just fucking crack on anyway, so it's in a similar tone family. And as for my chest, I'll maybe use some of the powder bronzer down there in a little while, just because I can't be bothered taking that stuff all the way here. And as I said, I don't want to have on too much stuff on hot days like this. I don't want to have loads and loads of stuff on. So that is us. I think that's okay. I think that's quite nice actually. I think it's came off quite nice. It's a tiny bit tacky, a little bit tacky. I don't know if that will dry down, but ever so slightly. The other thing I was going to say about this product was when it arrived, I was almost a little shocked at how small it was. I should have realised that when I was buying it, but it's only 13 mils. So you know, it is very petite, very small, and as I've said before, Glossier can be known for being a little overpriced for what they are, but it is very, very petite. Alright, so at this stage I'm going to go on with some faux freckles. Now this is from Lottie London, this is their freckle tint. I've spoke about this before, not available on Cult Beauty. I actually double checked because I couldn't remember if Lottie London was on Cult Beauty, but it is available on Beauty Bay. And there we go, kind of just faux freckles all over the face. But I'll go on with the rest of the stuff and then I might pop a few on at the end as well. That's the way I make it look a little more natural, because it's like these ones will peek through anything else I put on, and then a few little faux ones to just make them look a little darker. I'm going to go in now with Danessa Myricks Vision Flush, and this one is in Sweet Nectar, and I have spoke about this before. I had a sample of this and I just thought it was gorgeous. It's this most amazing orange colour, it's beautiful. So I am going to take that and just pop that over the cheeks just now, because I'm not sure, I think I'm just going to go with a nice golden bronze eye, and I'm not sure just how deep or dark I want my blush to be, and I am going to do some blush draping with it. The other day I done an amazing Nona Does My Face look, and I used some of my Glisten Cosmetics as a bit of a base around about the eye area. It was a lot, like it's not something I was going to be wearing out and about. This is a similar look, but just slightly pared down, like what I would wear in everyday life. My cat's just fell in the laundry basket. She's just fell into the washing basket. Are you alright? You alright down there? She just fell in the laundry basket and she doesn't really care, she's not even coming out. Anyway, sorry, as I was saying, so if you hear her clambering out, now you know what that noise is. So this is a kind of more like what I would wear in real life of that look. Like I was saying before, I want to make kind of more wearable Wednesday, so I might be doing the mad stuff over on Instagram, the really editorial, fun, exciting looks for colour and really out there looks for intricacy and graphic liner. But this is like this look pared down. I'll put the look over here actually, rather than just talking about it. It was an orange look, it was amazing, and actually I did use this as a little bit of a base for it because it is the most beautiful orange. It's so nice, and it's almost like got a neonness to it, even though it isn't a neon colour. It's just amazing. So that's what I'm going on with now, and you can pick up the Vision Flushes at Cult Beauty. I am not affiliated with Cult Beauty in any way, shape or form. I fucking wish. So if you think, oh, she's mentioning Cult Beauty a lot, it's just because a lot of these things were picked up here. So I thought, why not do a little bit of a get ready with me with Cult Beauty. And I'm just taking that Vision Flush into the eye socket as well, because these can be used lips, eyes, face, skin, wherever you want them. They can be used just about anywhere. And there we go, that is it, right across the skin. Let me zoom you in a little bit so you can see what this looks like on my skin close up. And here we go. I'm hoping you can see that there is the most gorgeous, like orangey tone right across the cheeks there. And I've just put it through the eye sockets as well. I've put all these little faux freckles everywhere. But it's really pretty, and you can see it leaves a beautiful sheen as well. Don't worry, I've not put any concealer on yet, anything like that. If you want to mattify that down, especially in the summer, because you're kind of thinking, oh, do you know what, that's going to get even sweatier. I get it, but I thought I would zoom you in and let you see just the effect that this has on the skin. It's glorious. It's a little bit disjointed back here. Let me just blend that. But what I am going to pop on is some of the Vive Modern Bronzer just over the top of this, just to see how it works. Now I'm going to go in with the light one first, I think. I'll take my KGH number 1, this one here. Now, I want to see, I don't know, let me just swatch it first. This, again, looks a little orange, but maybe okay. The darker one might work a little better though. But I'm going to take the lighter one to start with, and I'm just going to build that up. No, that's too orange. I know that's too orange straight away. My face is going to just end up looking like a fucking tangerine, especially with the orange blush. So I'm going to go in with a darker one. So I'm keeping that really quite high and quite far back, because I think these are very pigmented. I can tell these are really pigmented already. So I don't want to go too much onto the face. I just want to keep it back here. But I think the darker one definitely is a little better than that lighter one. The lighter one is just a little bit too orangey on my skin at the moment. I'm just sniffing it because there's no scent, because sometimes, you know, sometimes your powder stuff, it has a scent to it, and sometimes bronzers have a smell to it. Why not check? I'm just going to take this up again just in the peripheries. I'm definitely using this as a little bit more of a contour rather than a bronzer. It is very pigmented, so I'm glad I'm using this brush with it, because this blends things so beautifully. I think if I was going to use this one from LARAFAYE as well, that would equally work very nicely. I might actually just try that because it's a little softer, a bit more diffused with this brush, and just sweep that across the lids a little. So like concentrate it in these areas first. That's essentially what I'm doing. Sorry, my hair's all over the place now. In that E3 shape. But then I will diffuse it with a fluffier brush. So I'm gonna take it down my chest now with this really big brush and see how that looks. And I'm gonna take the medium one first, just to get an idea. I think it's very pigmented, but also I think that might just be a little dark against my pale skin. She's going under there now. She's come out of the laundry basket. This is why I love this brush, because it's just so easy to get it everywhere you need it to go very quickly. And there we go. So yeah, I don't think this is blended right. I don't know if it's just showing up on the camera that it's not, doesn't look quite so stark in real life when I'm looking in the mirror. When I turn to the side, it's like there's a block of colour on the camera that I can see, but in real life it actually doesn't look too bad. I think, little word of warning, or little like bit of advice rather than word of warning, I shouldn't say that because it's not a bad thing, go with a light hand. And maybe that's because I should have picked up the lighter one, but again, I think this one here is certainly a little bit more orange, so if I got the lighter one, is it going to be too greyish? I don't know. This is a problem that I always face anyway, so it's not like this is new to me. This one is certainly beautiful. This medium 2, I really like. This is just ever so slightly orange on my skin. and I can still see that at the side there. But I think go with a light hand. I am going to go in again with some of this and just try and blend that together a little, because again I just feel like it's almost like a stark difference here. That's all the faffing I'm going to do with the bronzers, but I'm going to take this from Shiseido, and this is their Synchro Skin Concealer. I have the shade 201 Light Clear. But this is very slightly yellow on my skin, so I think actually with this look it's going to go absolutely fine. You can also get that on Cult Beauty as well. It's not that that's a new product, I've owned that for some time now, and I'm just going to take this into these areas here and lighten it up ever so slightly and just knock that back a little bit, because just take the blue out of these areas and, as I say, knock back some of that blush. Alright, so I think I'm going to take the Color Fix in Twinkle and use that across the eyes, because I think just a really nice beautiful golden eye will look amazing with this. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this on some of my number 15 from Katie Jane Hughes. Now I did have too much on the brush there, but we'll just bat my eyelid a wee bit and let it get everywhere it needs to be, and then I'm going to take the excess on the other side. Here we go. But this is such a beautiful pigment that you kind of can't go wrong. You just kind of smear it all over the lids. It doesn't need a lot of work to it. It just does what it does. I feel like with the foils though, I think I'd seen Stephen mention this on a video that he'd done with Kelly quite recently. He feels like the foils almost make his eyes look a little scaly. And I get where you're coming from, because the one I've got in Venus sometimes does have that effect. And because, as I say, if you really sheer it out, like, it doesn't look like there's a lot of base pigment there, but as you turn in the light, it just leaves this beautiful sheen that I really, really enjoy. So actually for me, I don't mind it if it leaves a little bit of scaling, because I feel like the effect on the eye looks gorgeous. But I do know what he's talking about. If you don't shear them out fast and they start to dry down, then it can get a little like layer up upon layer, and I certainly find that with the Venus one. And there we go, that is Twinkle across the eyes there. Now what I will point out as well is, do you see this little like blot here? So that is where it's kind of done that scaling, that clumping that I think Stephen was talking about. So see here, that is golden, so when it turns in the light it looks phenomenal, but when it's front facing it's like this odd little spot on my eye, and I have experienced that before. I'm not sure how to rectify that, because actually in real life it looks absolutely beautiful, but when I'm facing front on, the same here, there's like a little clump here because it is a golden colour. But in real life, when I'm front facing, it doesn't look like as if, oh, there's an obvious mark here. It's just because on the camera, I suppose you don't get the proper iridescence of real life, so it's quite difficult to see it. And in real life, it looks very, very beautiful. So I just want to make people aware of that, because the foils have a beautiful effect to them, but they do things like this. I wouldn't want to kid you on about things. And I love this beautiful, just, ooh, golden shimmer all across everywhere. But it does do little weird things like that as well, so just be aware of that. So now that I've zoomed out, you probably don't even really notice the funny little dots and stuff in my eyes. It just looks like I've got a nice golden shimmery lid on. I think what I'm going to do is take a little bit of a smudging brush and just take some bronzer underneath my eye, because I think it needs that. I'm going to take the medium 2 again and just pop that underneath the eye ever so slightly, smoke it out just to give a little shadow under here. And actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my NARS Voyager palette, and this is in copper, which is beautiful kind of tan tones. Now you absolutely could use some in the socket, all these other places if you fancy. I feel I don't need that today. I'm just going to leave it with the gold shimmer on top of the eye. You also could use the deeper one. That one is Broom, with a little kind of, actually maybe I will do this. I'm just going to use it on the outer corner here, just ever so slightly, just to accentuate the lash line. There we go, just to help my eyelashes at the sides there. I think for my inner corner, I'm going to take this one here, which is Yokohama from the same palette. It's just a kind of golden shimmer, but I'm just going to take that very lightly in here, because I don't want it to be like a blinding inner corner highlight. I just want it to be really neutral and natural, because we already have all that sparkle going on the eyes. That's everything just now. I think I'm going to put on some mascara. We will try this Anastasia Beverly Hills. Do you say Anastasia or Anastasia? I say Anastasia. I think that's just what we say here. but I'm going to try a little bit of this. This was just a sample, it wasn't something that I thought about buying. It looks, so far, I pulled the wand out, it looks like a natural bristle brush, so we shall see. There we go, that's the mascara there. I actually think that is really very pretty, and that's kind of been maybe, you know, like a full coat, one coat I would say, but maybe like 10 swipes with a brush. I think that's really very pretty. I'm always dubious about miniature sizes of mascaras because there's been ones that I've bought, like the It Cosmetics one, the miniature that I loved, and then when I bought the full size I was like, oh my god, this is horrific. So it's a bit dubious sometimes. Although the NARS Climax one I had a miniature of and really enjoyed it. The same with Roller Lash from Benefit. They're miniature, I really liked that, and I bought Roller Lash in full size for years. Ah, rookie move, I've just got it in here. As I've said before, let it dry, just let it dry, don't worry about it. Go back in with spoolie and then flick it away once it is dry. Don't try and touch it before that. Alright, so that's probably now dried, so just flick it away. Just flick it away, like so. And look at that. Problem solved. You could go back in with your concealer brush a little bit if you feel like the problem is not solved and things are looking a little bit dark and deep under there. Alright, so I don't want to zoom you out completely because I'm going to go in with the Tower 28 West Coast bronzer, and as I said, I feel like this is a little bit more of a highlight product for me, so I'm just going to use my fingers to put this on. If it is anything like the Vive Skin Dew, then I'm very excited, but it looks so much darker. So I'm going to just gently pat it in these areas because I think it's going to give that really gleaming look to the skin, but because it is dark and a little pigmented, I don't want to bring it right here, so I'll just pop it there. Ooh, that is nice. Definitely has some pigment to it, so for me and for the colour of my skin, I think I need to do this with a nice light and gentle touch. I wouldn't put on any more, too much more, that would be enough for me. Okay, so I reckon that is me for skin, eyes, stuff like that, over and done with, but I want to try the Glossier Ultra Lip, this one here in Villa, because it just looks like a really beautiful everyday colour. But I think I will then wipe that off and give this one from Live Tinted a try, because the found colour, I think the really dark lip with just a golden eye might look very nice. But let's try this one first. So this is just a really beautiful kind of pinky nude, and again it's just so easily sweeps on. Very comfortable. Oh, that is nice. That is so nice and very pretty. It is a pink, you can see it's pink on my lips. Very pretty. This is one of these My Lips But Better colours. It absolutely is. It's very pretty. You could put this on with a bit of a liner as well if you felt it's just washing your lips out a little bit, if it was too light for you. A little bit of liner in the background and it might just help. But for comfort and for everyday kind of wear, this is beautiful. I really like these. I think they're very nice, and I'm so glad I've picked up this other colour. So that is a winner. And I'm just going to wipe that off, and I'm going to try on the found one. So the thing I love about the Live Tinted, as I say already, like I could have used that as a little bit liner and buffed that out with this look with the golden eye as well. If you're going anywhere and you take one of these, you're only going to need like one or two of these, and I think they do a black one now as well. Not that you'd be using black on your cheeks or anything, but you could use it on your lips. I recently done a black lip look over on Instagram as well, and it is amazing. So I'm just going to take this as my liner, and then I'll fill in around about. So that is it on the top lip there. You can see just how much darker it is than my natural lips. A little bit of... Oh, that is nice. This is really reminiscent of the Vive Power Suit lipstick. Although the Vive Power Suit lipstick is creamier, this is definitely more matte. The colour is very reminiscent. Or MAC's Devoted to Chili, the Powder Kiss ones. Very similar in colour. So I went and swatched the three of them there. So on the outside, that is MAC's Devoted to Chili, and the Powder Kiss. The middle is this found colour, and on the end there is the Jamie Genevieve Power Suit, sorry, modern lipstick. Modern matte lipstick, if you want to say it that way. So actually they are a little different when swatched, but I feel like this colour here, the one that's in the middle, doesn't look as dark on my lips. It actually looks more reminiscent to the other two colours, so I think that's really important to take into consideration. And that's why when I thought I seen it online, it was going to be a really dark and almost berry colour, but it's definitely not. It's definitely more of an orangey toned deep brown colour, but very, very warm, and I really, really like it. It's right up my street. But would I have bought it having known it was going to be as similar to those two, because it's definitely not a colour that is missing from my collection. But I think that is where I'm going to leave it today. I hope you've enjoyed this. I might go and add a few more frill freckles on, that's about it. Let me know what you think. I think that the Vive bronzer is very, very nice. I think it's very highly pigmented. Be careful when you're using it. But maybe I should have got the lighter one, I'm not sure. I think now that everything's on my face, it looks absolutely fine, but initially I was like, oh, that medium one, that is just very, very orange on my skin. I would like to think I could pick up, if this is like a little pop-out palette, she'll start making it so you can just pick up the blush, and I would pop the blush in along the bronzer and maybe take that away with me somewhere. That would be a really, really good move, and I'm so glad that she's changed the packaging on the outer containers. And this year, the Danis Color Vision Flush in Nutcracker, not Nutcracker, that's a different one, Sweet Nectar. Oh my god, I'm so glad I've got my hands on it. I love this shade. It is one of my favourite colours, especially in the summer. So, have you picked any of this stuff up before? Have you used any of it? Have you been interested in trying it? Please comment down below and let me know. Otherwise, I will see you all again in the next one. Bye.